Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of First and Last. My name is Josh, and with me this week we have Joe.
Hey, man.
And Jimmy.
What's up, dogs? Pasta dogs.
Nothing much, my good sir.
Devani dogs.
Pasta dog sounds like you put some cut up hot dogs in some spaghetti, and that sounds great.
Yeah, I'd eat that. I was thinking you have a hot dog and you just put some spaghetti noodles in the bun or something, or some pasta noodles with a little tomato sauce on top. Basically a chili dog, but with pasta.
May I suggest instead of spaghetti, mac and cheese as a topping?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, wait. I'll be honest. I stopped listening for 2 seconds.
He's been spacing out. Then you heard mac and cheese.
You
and
missed
wait, what?
a lot.
I went right back in. Well, because I was spaghetti. I thought you said spaghetti and hot dogs, and I thought SpaghettiOs and hot dogs, and I spaced out for a little bit. Then I heard mac and cheese.
Yeah, that's basically it. What about, you have a pasta on top of the hot dog in the bun, and then you half some meatballs and also stick those on there somehow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
or a cold pasta.
Hand it to me, I'll eat it.
Yeah.
See, the problem, I was curious on what Joe was getting at with the mac and cheese thing, because one time Joe described to me the grossest hot dog type sandwich thing ever.
Yeah, I've got a long hot dog history.
And I made it one time, and I feel like it was very bad.
You did it wrong.
I mean, I think Joe was it wasn't quite right, but
yeah,
it was
a common after school snack for me is a hot dog sandwich, where it's just 2 pieces of white bread, 2 hot dogs cut the long way,
Okay.
and mayo.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because the bread's toasted and the hot dogs are microwave, so it's all just warm.
and then you got the goo from the mayonnaise.
Yeah, it's a pretty
it all together.
gooey, warm mayo.
So Josh, what did you do that made that worse?
So I think I didn't. Well, number one, I didn't have white bread.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm an adult, and my and my mother didn't give me Wonder Bread anymore. I think I didn't have just regular straight hot dogs. I probably had some sort of cheddar wurst or something like that.
Mm.
So I had a higher quality hot dog, a higher quality bread, and then I had Miracle Whip, I believe, which Joe was at. It's supposed to be mayo, not Miracle Whip.
That's different, yeah.
So all of my ingredients were the same, but just
wrong.
far enough wrong.
Yeah.
That I still am pretty confident that it's a terrible thing to eat, but the thing that I ate was wrong and also bad.
Okay, How about this? This will be the last hot dog thing I say. Have you ever had? Okay, so you unfold the hot dog bun, right? You put peanut butter on one side, jelly on the other side, throw the done dog in the middle, and then sprinkle some potato chips on there, just like original. Or whatever.
It's you had a lunch and it all got mixed up in the bag or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome.
For lunch, my mom made me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, a hot dog, and a bag of chips, and I combined them all.
Yeah, no, who has time for all that?
Okay. Good cooking podcast we got going on here. The sad and alone during quarantine cooking podcast.
Gotta get creative to survive, man.
100 ways to eat a hot dog.
Yeah. Are you single and the world's not looking at you? Make Joe's favorite snack.
Experiment with hot dogs.
This pod brought to you by divorced dads.
Oh, man. I hope this show that Josh picked has something to do with hot dogs or lonely dads.
I mean, it might. It's a coming-of-age tale, according to the one sentence I read about it.
Okay. Oh, we skipped the Joe thing.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to go. Before we get into what the show actually is, Joe, how does this hot dog podcast work for new listeners?
Every week, we discuss the most disgusting thing you could do with a hot dog, and
new hot dog recipe every week.
And then we pick a TV show and watch only the first and only the last episode, and talk about the beginnings and endings and our own mortality.
Wow. It gets really weird from going from hot dogs to, existential crisis.
It all begins and ends, man.
With hot dogs.
Tune in today where we all eat a hot dog and then we talk about where we go after we die. All right, that's not what we're doing. Actually, today we are going to be watching the Inbetweeners.
Oh,
okay.
I think I've seen a little bit of that.
Have you? Okay. I feel like I've seen it on Netflix a bunch and been like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. And it's finally time for me to find out what it is.
Is it like a sci-fi? I'm imagining like a Steven Spielberg 80s sci-fi. Am I way off?
No, I don't believe that's what it is. So the only it's a British TV show.
Sweet.
The first, like, basically it's a British coming of age television sitcom.
Okay.
It just a quick overview. It went from May 2008 to October 2010. There's only 3 series because they're British and they don't know the word seasons. And there's 18 episodes.
Oh, okay. So these are short series.
Yeah, I think I'm not 100% sure, but around 6 episodes per season basically would be how it breaks down.
Yeah,
I don't know.
which is pretty typical for a British show, I feel like.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so are they longer then, or? I always feel like British shows are long.
No, each episode's only about like 25 minutes.
Huh. Okay. So you could burn through this in a quarantine afternoon, easy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you're working from home and you got a second monitor, I bet you could watch if you're into this, you could watch this in about 2 days.
Nice.
Yeah. And get a bunch of reports done at the same time.
Exactly.
Get all your spreadsheets done. Oh, man.
Don't let them tell you that hinders your work. It's called motivation. It gets you going.
Yeah.
Watching the TV. So yeah, the only thing I really know is basically it's called the coming of age tale. So I feel like it's not going to be like this, but I'm envisioning like British Wonder Years. But probably like more sad.
Ooh.
You know, like
because it's
I feel
British.
No, I just feel like like Wonder Years was Kevin. Was it Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin.
Kevin Arnold. It was Kevin had a pretty good life, you know, like bad things happened, like just as normal humans' lives do. And so he kind of dealt with it. But his biggest problems in that show were like whether or not Winnie Cooper was going to like him or his brother like being mean to him kind of thing. Those are like the constant bad things. I kind of feel like this is a coming of age tale, but these kids maybe have it a little bit more rough.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's some divorce.
Yeah.
Or just not full nuclear families kind of thing.
Maybe their households keep Miracle Whip instead of just regular mayo.
I don't see. Here's the deal. I like both, and I don't know what the problem you have is. With Miracle Whip. It's fine.
There have been times where I've had like a Miracle Whip moment, and it's fine. Yeah.
I definitely grew up on Miracle Whip.
When you want to be gross about stuff you used to eat when you were a kid, I used to want to eat just Joe. I would eat pretty much the exact same gross hot dog sandwich that you wanted to eat, except I wouldn't toast the bread and I wouldn't put hot dog in it. So I would put mayonnaise on bread and like eat a mayonnaise sandwich when I was like 8.
Like mayonnaise
That's
or Miracle Whip?
It was Miracle Whip.
Okay. For some reason, Miracle Whip seems less weird because like that's like
Well, because it's
a
like
special
sweet
thing
and tangy kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like mayonnaise. I mean, that's more of an adult gross sandwich, right?
Yeah.
Miracle Whip on white bread. What a nutritional snack.
Right? Man, I just feel like if any of us actually have kids, we're going to like, our kids are going to eat so much healthier than we did growing up.
Man, I
It's
hope
going to be crazy.
Yeah. I can only hope.
But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys got? Any thoughts about what the show
perusing
is?
the Wikipedia here, I am realizing that I don't remember anything about the show other than like what I can tell from like the cover art, in that it's just like 4 high school dudes and they get into some mischief.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember around this show is that I started watching it because I was in like a weird thing where when I first moved to Minnesota, I was like living with my college roommate. This is like post-college. And then after a few months, he moved to Vancouver. And like through that, like he like broke up with his girlfriend and moved to Vancouver.
Whoa.
But I was still like kind of friends with his ex-girlfriend, so like we like hung out a little bit.
Tawdry.
Like not in any sort of like sexy way, but like still a weird way that like I'm still friends with this person that like got dumped by my like good friend.
Well, I mean, it's a person you know in this city that you're into.
That's the thing is like I didn't really know people, so I was just like, yeah, you're a person I still know. Like we could still hang out, and like this is one of the things we did was like watch the Inbetweeners.
Oh, okay. So you got great memories of this show.
Yeah.
At least.
Very complicated memories.
It was very complicated. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I get like I assume like they're, you know, some outcasts kind of vibe. They look like they're a little emo. But maybe the logo's just in black and white. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's 2008, so there was some emo going on back then.
I'm also still going to assume sci-fi. I'm just going to call that out.
Maybe some maybe
Really
some
hoping.
supernatural.
Really
I
hoping.
could be into that.
I also hope that Simon Pegg is somehow involved.
Well, then this show would be amazing.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, Nick Frost, right? Isn't that Simon Pegg's friend? That's in a lot of Simon Pegg stuff.
Yep. He's the other guy in a lot of this. I've not seen him in anything by himself that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. Listeners, if you don't know who we're talking about, if you watch Shaun of the Dead, he's the guy that's not Shaun, basically.
Yeah. Or you know, most Simon Pegg movies.
Yeah. Every Simon Pegg movie besides Star Trek or Mission Impossible, he's the guy that's next
Simon
to
Pegg is
Simon
in that?
Pegg. Yeah. He's in the
Which
later
one?
ones.
Yeah.
Some of the later ones. I don't
Probably
know.
watch those.
He basically is who when Emilio Estevez in Mission Impossible 1 gets killed.
Whoa! Spoiler alert!
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. In 2001, a movie came out, but he's the guy on the computer doing stuff. That's what Simon Pegg is, except without the getting killed on top of a elevator thing.
Yeah, sweet.
So that's that. Okay, well, let's get into this first episode of the Inbetweeners. It is called First Day. So, new school, high school, who knows? We'll check it out and we'll see you after that, listeners. And we're back from the first episode of Flip My Paper, the Inbetweeners. I believe it
Josh
was
is
called
reading off a script.
First
This is
Day.
all teleprompted.
Do you guys not script out every word you say?
Oh man, I think it's very clear that we do not.
And we're next page back.
Yeah, no, it's hey Jimmy, do you have a write up for us?
Oh, yes. Will Mackenzie is forced to move from a private school to a state school, Rudge Park Comprehensive, as a result of his mother Polly's financial problems following her divorce. His first day at Rudge Park largely consists of mockery from fellow pupils due to his formal appearance, notably his usage of a briefcase, and well-spoken nature. He also faces oppression from Mr. Gilbert, the arrogant and hostile head of sixth form, which must be how you say some grade.
That is just FYI not what oppression is, but that's fine.
This is a very British written sounding summary here. Because like sixth form, did we hear that term?
I mean, dude, they said so many things I didn't understand.
It's some level of
lingo.
School.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were talking their broken English all over the place. Who knows what they were saying?
Wow. Anyway, so Mr. Gilbert forces Will and the other new enrollments to wear large, colorful badges introducing themselves, which quickly attracts ridicule from many other pupils. Mr. Gilbert then orders Simon Cooper, a classmate, to accompany Will around the school, much to Simon's annoyance. Whilst tagging along with Simon, Will meets his friends, the sex-obsessed, foul-mouthed Jay and the good-natured but dim-witted Neil, eventually joining them for a student gathering that evening at a local pub called the Black Horse. When they arrive at the pub, they find it strangely quiet, and while Jay succeeds in buying alcohol via the use of a fake ID, the bartender refuses to serve the others unless they also show proof of age. Adamant to impress the trio, Will persists in attempting to illegally buy alcohol, finally succeeding in buying them all cider with the help of another punter.
I assumed it was hard cider.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
That was the impression I got. Okay, so however, the boys suddenly notice that the pub they're in is actually the Black Bull, so it's the wrong pub, quickly make their way to the correct pub. Will is once again asked for proof of age when attempting to buy alcohol, and so finally loses his temper and reveals in an angry outburst that the pub is full of underage students. They are all thrown out and permanently barred as a result, although Simon is amused by Will's behavior and stands by him as a new friend. The other students all take a great disliking towards him, particularly psychopathic school bully Mark Donovan.
Okay, that is what happened. My first thought was, they were all. I was like, this is public school, right? And they all still had like uniforms on,
right?
Basically,
yeah.
Like they were making fun of Will because he was wearing like a suit essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But then half of the other ones were wearing like ties still too, and they were all wearing like this blue sweater that had like the school symbol on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely had uniforms.
So bummer. Do you have to wear even in public school in the UK? Do you have to still wear like some sort of costume to go?
Seems that way.
Proper.
Yeah.
At least
seems
at this
like
place.
A bummer.
Yeah.
All in all, I feel like all in all, I was like into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could watch this.
I thought it was interesting. It's definitely like I guess harsher than maybe if this is an American like teen show, like the teens I feel like would be like mean to each other still, and it would still be like there'd be bullying and people making fun of each other.
Mm-hmm.
But it just seemed like within the kids' language of this TV show that they were just a lot like harsher and probably in an aspect much more like akin to real children, you know,
yeah,
than like TV kids were. They're like, kids just say whatever they want, and it's just rude most of the time.
Yeah, kids are dicks.
Yeah, just like like mid 2000s British like adolescent, mostly dudes. Like that's this whole show's vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Josh. I feel like they definitely said stuff that the Wonder Years could not have gotten away with.
I mean, I was trying to like maybe compare this to like Freaks and Geeks a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
I don't know if there's a new kid in that show right away. We haven't done that show yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
But I was trying to like do that because I feel like they're a little raw in that show too, but I feel like nowhere near
Yeah.
what these
And maybe
kids
that's
were
just
like.
a difference of American teen pop culture comedy versus
Mm-hmm.
British, but
Right. I mean, I'm not really offended by it or anything. I think it's kind of like almost refreshing and nice in a way to be like, yeah, that's probably what like these real like kind of misfit teens talk about, you know,
Mm-hmm.
for real.
yeah, that's
if
how
you're watching-
teens talk.
Yeah, teens are just cruel and rude. And so you were like, ugh, I don't like this show. This is too foul. It's kind of like, well, you know, if you got a kid that age, that's what they're saying too. So
Yeah. Behind your back.
behind your back,
You're
mom.
talking a lot about vaginas. Like 40% of the dialogue in this show is about vaginas.
And like 20% of that 40% was about Will's mom's vagina.
Yeah, that wasn't in the description.
Yeah, they were like, "Ooh, your mom." So that was their thing. I feel like there was like some sort of term we had. Sometime you're like, "Oh, she's like good looking." Then they kept saying girls were fit.
Fit. Yeah, fit was used a
Yeah.
lot.
That was like their like term to say like that's a hot girl. I think
Uh-huh. Yeah.
basically
Yeah, that's a
So-
British term.
the girl Simon, the girl Simon liked was like, "Oh, she's fit," and then they were saying that about Will's mom as well.
Classic. The poor kid in the class with the hot mom. It's a rough life.
Yeah. The sex stuff is like kind of funny and interesting in that they play it accurate to, or I don't know, at least accurate in my experience. But like
It's exactly
accurate.
how Joe talked. in
Let's
high
talk
school.
about Joe's sexual
Yeah.
high school experiences.
What I was gonna say was like accurate in that like these kids talk shit, but like they don't really know anything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like there's a scene where one of the kids talking about like all the girls he banged over like summer break or something, and like he's clearly just making it up, and then the other kid is like asking like if like when you have sex you like put the balls in too.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, sometimes. Like some people are into that. Some girls are into that. Shut up. Excellent. Yeah, it had a very like American Pie vibe for me,
Mm-hmm.
but British and in TV form.
Yeah, it was a British pie.
It's a shepherd's
Good one.
pie or something like that.
It's a weird meat pie.
Yeah.
One of the kids did a Australian accent, and I was like, that's not. It's like you just said mate, and you just used your own accent. You didn't change it much.
Yeah. They called him a copper, which I guess is an
copper.
Australian thing.
Yeah. So I mean, running through, I guess the characters quickly. There's basically 4 that are the main ones. You got Will. He's the main character, new to school. He's got a fit mom, and he's on a quest for friends. That's basically, and he's trying to have at least like middle tier friends. He wasn't like gonna be friends with the what he decided was like nerds
Yeah.
who were new to
Yeah,
school
the
with him.
freaks. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was Simon. So he was paired up with Simon then to like Simon was supposed to show him around.
Yeah, Mr. Gilbert told him, he said, you share a lot of classes with Will, so you're going to show him around.
Mr. Gilbert's a total wanker.
Yeah.
Did I use that term right? I
I'm
think
not,
I did.
I'm not sure.
Simon also, he was talking to like the girl he liked, and he got like a boner apparently, and everyone made fun of him, which is like probably scarring for life for that poor kid.
I guess there's probably worse nicknames, but yeah, It's a rough moment.
I don't know if they gave him a nickname. It's just like someone stood on a table in the middle of the common room and said, "Simon has a boner. Everybody look."
Kids called him Boner for the rest of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
As they walked
Yeah, when they
by.
saw him at the bar, they were just like, "Hey, boner."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I thought Neil, their like tall, kind of like quiet, dumb friend.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was like when they try to enlist that strange man at the first bar, at the Black Bull to like just sit with them so they could drink like ciders all night. I thought like Neil was gonna like befriend him and play that game with him and just like stay there and be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting plot where they were at that first bar that was empty. They were trying to get drinks. The one of them, like, he uses his fake ID, right, to get himself a beer.
Yeah, that was Jay, the one
Yeah.
that was like
Okay.
talking about how he he like banged all these women during the summer.
Yeah.
You know, the one that was lying about that.
Yeah, yeah. But then the rest of them, like, their plot is, well, it's Will's plot, really, that, like, there's some sort of, like, legal code where if you, like, order dinner, like, people who are underage can drink, like, mead or cider. So he tried to order, like, 3 carveries, which I think is, like a cut of, like, turkey and some gravy, and 3 ciders.
Oh yeah,
But
I
then-
had absolutely no idea what the food he was ordering was.
Yeah.
I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
But then, like, the bartender says that, like, it needs to be, like, an adult needs to order it for you to be able to do that. So then he asked this random guy at the bar, like, "Hey, will you order this for us and we'll pay for your drinks for the rest of the night? Also, you might need to sit with us, but you don't need to talk to us."
And like, man, desperate kids.
And
but
he
like,
did it.
What a sad adult. You know, he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
He's like, "Yeah, sure."
I mean, I kind of thought about that. I was like, man, would that fly in the States?
Oh my
But
God.
also, like, I guess technically
So
that
much
guy
worse
wasn't like,
flies.
well, he wasn't like providing alcohol to minors. He wasn't doing anything illegal. He was
No.
just the adult that was there, and they
He's
could
getting
do
free
that
drinks.
Mhm.
I would probably do that. I mean, it's the law there. It's not. They're not.
there. Yeah, they're fine.
You know, he's not doing anything wrong.
He's just getting. He's getting free drinks. He's doing everything right.
Plus, his kids are eating. They're getting something in their stomach. So
Yeah. They're going to be safe.
Another thought I was trying to figure out throughout this episode was, would any of you be friends with Will?
pretty funny. I probably had some wills in high school. You know.
I guess it depends in the context in which I meet Will. Like, I don't know. There's a lot that he did to his, like, fellow students in this episode that was very off-putting.
Yeah,
True.
my
True.
biggest concern was I feel like Will was so trying to like get his way almost at the expense of anything that he literally ruined the night for probably 50 of his co-students.
Yeah.
You know? And that's and in high school, that is like unforgivable.
That's the end.
You know.
Yeah. That's the end
I don't
for you.
I don't think in the last episode Will's going to be like the whole school is going to be around Will chanting like Will, like, you know, like I don't
Ooh.
think he's reached popularity by any means.
Is that a prediction?
No. Well, I mean, yes, it is, I guess, but it's not in my predictions.
I hope that there is a scene where they are all lifting up Will and chanting his name. I want that so badly.
Yep, I'll eat it. If that happens, I will lose 1 point. I'll take it.
All right. I feel good about that.
Because I feel so good that that's not happening.
Okay, so here's a question for you guys then. Were you the Will in any situation of
You know, I wrote that down.
I mean, like, were you the new kid, right?
Yeah, were you the new kid? I don't think I've never been the new kid at school. I mean, like I've lived in the same place my whole life, so
Sure.
or my whole school life.
Yeah, I've never been the new kid, as in I've never been like I came to this grade and like me and like two other, like the couple new kids per year kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
It was never like that. It was like school shifts where went to a certain school till 6th grade, and then everybody from that school that was in 6th grade with me went to this next school,
Mm-hmm. And then there's new people.
Yeah. And then it was
Right.
everybody was new to each other, but you already knew, like, the handful of people, the hundreds of people most likely that I went to school with already.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just a couple hundred extra new ones too.
Yeah.
So no, I was never the Will in that like, oh, I'm new. I'm just new.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
Sure.
I guess everyone you kind of feel like that in a way, like your first day at college, right? If you went to college.
Everyone's
Yeah.
will.
But yeah,
Everyone's
everyone's
will.
new. Yeah.
Everyone's got a briefcase and a blazer on.
Yeah, that's what I wore on my first day at college.
Can you imagine?
Do you guys have any? I mean, if you weren't the new kid, do you guys have any fun new kids from your history?
I feel like I had a new kid,
New kids on the block.
probably like somewhere between 6th and 8th grade. I can't quite pinpoint him.
Mm-hmm.
Me and someone were just talking about this kid before. Yeah, I feel like there was a new kid that I was friends with. I think his name was Ian.
Mm-hmm.
And like he was like kind of quiet. I think he was like from Alaska or something, and he had
Mhm.
moved to like Minnesota. And I was like, cool, whatever. His parents were like a little weird. He wasn't really like technically allowed to like go do like like all the other kids are gonna go do a thing,
Mhm.
and like he wasn't like really allowed to go do those things.
Mhm.
But like he could have people over at his house. Like I feel like his parents were just weird,
Mhm.
like have kids at your house, but like don't go to the things that the kids are doing. But he was I remember him being like a nice kid, and until they moved like after a year or so, I think.
Mhm.
So they must have been, I don't know if they were a military family or they were just a moving family.
Just
But-
missed Alaska.
Yeah, so I had a Will, but his name was Ian.
I had a Will in high school who like was a really cool guy and like infiltrated my group of friends, and he was like really funny,
Murdered
really
everybody?
charming. What was that?
And then he murdered everybody.
No. No, but he
Joe's
was
dead.
like he's really cool, like really funny and like just like a good hang. But then we started to kind of notice things where like just like little things that seemed like a little bit like too good to be true, or just like a little unbelievable. Like there's a whole thing about how he's like training for the Olympics and speed skating, and it's like it's like a believable thing for like a teenager to be into, but like it just seemed like very like this was like one of like a few cool things that he was into. But then you start to put it all together, and it turns out he just was lying about everything. Like
Yikes.
there's just so many lies, like big and small, that like you didn't know what to believe. So like he kind of just like lied his way out of favor. And then there was even like his biggest lie was probably that this is probably a year or so after he had like moved to the school, that he was leaving. Like he had like a full like countdown of like, oh, I'm like moving at the end of the month, like see you guys later. And like a bunch of people were like, like what's the word I'm looking for here? They weren't like torn up about it, but like he was getting a lot of tension because like, oh, it's our last time seeing this guy, like let's all
Well, it's
like
yeah, it's the one thing's like, even if you
That's
weren't
crazy.
like best friends with somebody,
Mhm.
you're just like, oh, you're leaving, like, yeah, like if you want, we're gonna get together and have a
Yeah.
bash maybe or something. And
yeah. So I feel like people like gave him a lot of tension and like maybe threw him a party, and like everyone's like being like good luck in wherever you're going, and then like the next week at school he's still there.
It's wild.
And I
Did
feel
he-
like that.
wild.
Did he make an excuse as to why he was still there?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but it was like, yeah, he just like, oh yeah, it didn't work out, and like, so I'm gonna be here for a while, and then
It's one of
My
those things where it's
gosh.
really funny, where it's like, what if that was the one truth he was actually saying, you know, and his
Yeah.
and his like dad's job fell through, or his mom
Yeah.
like
And no one
You know,
The boy who
believed him
cried wolf
ever
and,
again.
like-
Yeah.
someone decided they were like, no, and you know what, maybe we should stay so Will can finish off high school, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they just did it, and he was like,
Surprise.
everyone thinks I'm lying about everything, and this is not gonna help.
But yeah, I feel like that was like the lie that like kind of set it off, and people were just like, okay, I think we're done with you.
Oh man. This kid just got so buried. He couldn't stop. Just snowballed. I had a girlfriend like that. We don't talk about her
Constantly
anymore.
lying.
I feel like you've had a couple girlfriends like that, Jim.
It's possible. It's highly possible.
All in all, then, based on this pilot, are either of you two interested in continuing to watch this show?
I'm interested in continuing to watch the finale of this show.
Well, you're gonna have to, no matter what. So,
I mean, I think I'm in. It's a small investment.
Yeah.
18 episodes, 22 minutes
it's
each.
Silly. It's silly. The so I did have one thing was that the two writers, Damon Beasley and Ian Morris, worked a little bit on Flight of the Conchords. So I thought that was fun. So maybe they are from oh no, that's New Zealand, right? Not Australia.
that's where the Flight of the Conchords
Yeah.
people are from. Yes.
So maybe unrelated, but
Yeah, they're from New Zealand, right? Because that one guy in Flight of the Conchords hates people from Australia, right, or something like that. And I'm trying to think, there's a fruit vendor in one of the episodes in Flight of the Conchords, and he hates somebody, and he either hates people from New Zealand or from Australia. But I'm pretty sure the Conchords people are from New Zealand,
Yeah.
and the fruit vendor hates Australians. And then
Yeah.
he's he says he hates people from New Zealand, but he keeps just describing Australian people. No, you hate Australian people. That's my New Zealand accent.
it's pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty spot on.
I have no idea. But my one note that I made was, so it's 2008. Like, we're still making gay jokes in 2008. We're still doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, a lot of like gay panic jokes.
I thought
Jimmy,
that was weird.
Jimmy, it's 2020. Kids in high school are still making.
No,
it.
absolutely, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, it's really not that weird at all for it being 2000s and also being like adolescent boys. Like,
Yeah. There's definitely
Yeah, but
this
you don't
was
gotta
a-
do it on TV though.
I know, but that's what I was kind of saying earlier. It's like that fine line of like making like an adolescent TV show like this and being truthful really or not to what kids are really saying, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I bet this is pretty similar to what a lot of kids just like spout out of their dumb mouths all the time.
yeah.
You know?
But also just like you don't need to go far back. You don't need to go that far back in like TV time to find some
Yeah.
like problematic gay jokes.
Right.
No, you don't.
Right.
You probably go to like last week's ABC sitcom,
Yeah.
Maybe.
whatever that was. Should we get into predictions?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go. Predictions. Number 1, I think Will gets a pint.
Oh, he finally gets one.
Good for him.
I think Will's drinking a beer at some point in this episode. He finally gets that pint. Number 2, I think Simon gets another boner.
Okay. You think like this is a reoccurring issue
Maybe, who
for
knows?
Simon?
Number 3, I think at some point, because they're British, and I've heard this saying before, that they say, "What are you on about?" I think they say that in this episode.
What are you on about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I listen to a podcast
I don't
with a
know that
British
one.
guy on it, and they say, "What are you on about?" all the time. And number 4, I think there's some sort of spooky element. Like, I don't know, maybe someone tells a spooky story, or they like think they're gonna get like someone's after that. Like, we're gonna know There's a spooky element. Okay.
Okay.
And that's it. That's my 4.
Cool. I can do mine. I think in this finale there's a new kid that's not one of the 4 main characters. I think that in kind of a Jim and Pam fashion, Simon finally confesses his feelings for Carly. We didn't really talk about Simon and Carly, but like Simon's one of the kids.
That's why Simon had a boner.
Yeah.
Carly gave him a boner. And Carly he was chasing Carly the whole night.
Yeah, he's chasing Carly, and then when he shows up to the party, like Carly's there with some like taller, more handsome dude.
I think more handsome's questionable, but taller is the fact.
Definitely taller.
Taller, seemingly older.
Yeah. I think the show ends with them like going off to college, and I think one of the 4 guys goes to America for college.
Because that's where you go to bone all the girls, like a Love Actually scenario.
Yeah, exactly that. And then I think Mr. Gilbert is he a principal or he's just like a teacher, right?
I think so. Yeah.
We didn't talk much about him, but Mr. Gilbert was involved in like the orientation of the new kids, and he's kind of an asshole. And I think Mr. Gilbert conceivably committed murder. I don't think he.
Is this your season 6 octopus monster?
Yeah, could be. Like I don't think.
Or also, Joe, what teacher hurt you back in the day?
Yeah.
I just no one hurt me. I just know of some crimes.
You just know you're about to be married to a teacher, so you know what's in their heart for real.
Yeah. So I don't think like Mr. Gilbert. I don't think we actually get proof that he killed someone, but I think there are some clues that like there is something there that he might have committed a murder off screen.
Yeah, Joe. We all listened to Save the Bell last week too. We know what you're about. I'm into it though. I want it to happen.
Oh man, that's funny. I don't know how we know that, but we'll know it when we see it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I think Will has a GF. I think he's got a girlfriend.
A Guardian Force from Final Fantasy VIII.
Good for him.
Sure. That too.
One person listening is really happy I said that.
Yeah, if you're listening and you, tweet at us. I think this pilot was the first day it was called, right? First day. I think this is the last day.
Like graduation day?
Yeah, whatever. It's the last day.
last day of school.
I would assume that's what that would mean. I haven't looked at the episode title list, but I just hope that this episode has something to do with the last day. Okay, and then I think there'll be a teen like pop culture reference. Maybe it's American Pie or Freaks and Geeks, but I think it'll be there. And then number 4, hot dogs. Maybe Miracle Whip. We don't know.
They
but
don't
for sure,
have
hot dogs.
a Miracle Whip across
Somebody eats
the
a hot
pond.
dog. Somebody has a hot dog. Maybe some white bread.
One can only hope.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around like just the effort that it takes to cut a hot dog the long ways and there's the patience.
When you just hold it and you hold the dog and you slice.
Yeah. And so that's how it fits in a sandwich because then it's all flat.
But do you need like more than one?
Yeah,
that's
in
like
a sandwich.
Yeah, I think you need 2.
You need at least 2.
Yeah.
2 hot dogs.
Okay. Just
Do you cut pre-cook? You cut then cook, right?
Right.
Yeah.
okay.
So easy.
say that like it's so matter of fact. It's so obvious. To anyone who cooking and having
Jimmy,
hot
I thought
dogs.
you were hung up. I thought you were hung up about cutting a hot dog the long ways, and I was like, yeah, it's you don't want to hold a hot dog. It's hot in your hands.
I mean, it's microwaved. It's not that hot.
It's still
it's like
hot.
you're not holding it.
Those water molecules are like shivering fast or whatever a microwave does to food.
Shivering. I mean, it's not like you're holding the hot dog in your hand while you're cutting it with a knife down the middle.
You gotta hold it still though, and so the
fingertips,
tips of your fingers are getting a little too hot. Let's get to the finale of this show. How about that?
Learning how to cut hot dogs.
The finale. It's got two quotations. It's called "The Camping Trip" or "Camping." I don't know why it's called two things, but the camping trip. Let's do that.
Okay.
We'll go we'll watch that last episode, and we'll see you after that. And we're back. We are done with the finale of the Inbetweeners camping trip because the boys went on a camping trip.
Yes, they did.
Do you have a write-up for us, Jim?
I do. Whilst Neil worries that he has got the girl from the cheese counter pregnant, I don't know what that means, by the way. Simon is upset that his family must move to Swansea for his father's work. Will suggests a farewell camping trip for the four boys, though he is less than happy when the others use his possessions to light the campfire, and Simon is not pleased. That's... Oh, wait.
I mean,
yeah.
Really, how dumb do you have to be? Like, they lit the items of things on fire. They couldn't figure out a fire. Come on.
Yeah, you're just being an ass at that point. Simon is not pleased when Neil and Jay let his car run into the lake. Is not pleased. It was probably worse than that. After a game of Monopoly after a game in which each of them texts someone on each other's phone, Neil discovers that he is not a father after all, and the boys bond in their own odd way. Very nice IMDb summary.
I mean, I would say that's kind of accurate. The boys definitely, at the end of this episode, had bonded, and it was definitely in their own weird way.
Yeah, it was actually kind of sweet.
Yeah. I assume that's how a lot of the episodes of the show probably end, that they're kind of dicks to each other and hilarity ensues. But then at the end of the day, they're like, but we're friends.
Yeah.
And it's nice.
I would probably say it's just them being dicks to each other for 18 episodes.
And throwing up on each other.
And them just getting over it and being whatever. Oh, man, do you want to talk about that now, Jimmy? Do you want to talk about the throw up now?
I mean, basically, what I
feel like it
assume
was
the
Joe's
show...
favorite part about both of these episodes.
Really? Was
Oh,
there
yeah,
was there
lots of
vomit in the
holes.
first one?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, out of both.
Yeah.
They did like the side mouth tube projectile fake vomit.
Yeah. Just pouring out.
And it was like 4 people were in a single tent and 3 of them puked.
Yeah, one of them puked, and it caused the other 2 to puke, and then it was just an onslaught of puke.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I looked up at the Zoom chat and I thought Joe was like losing his marbles laughing so hard.
Is that true, Joe? Big vomit guy?
Yeah, that just gets me. Like, it's something that always it adds up, and then a bunch of people are puking. That's always how it goes.
Joe gets sucker for the puking gag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so
gagging for the sucker
whole
puke.
Oh God. Yeah, so the whole premise of the episode was basically Simon was going to move away, so the boys were going to go on a camping trip for one last hurrah, almost.
Yeah.
And then they did it, and at the end, and the shenanigans ensued, and at the end, they were cool with each other. I kind of thought, I don't know why I was like, Simon's not going to move at the end or something like that. But, it was just,
Yeah.
the camping trip
It
was
didn't
over
really
and
wrap.
yeah,
Didn't really
exactly.
wrap.
It didn't. I mean, that means the show wrapped though, because one of the four main characters is moving away, so that's pretty much a solid way to say like put a little bow tie on it.
Yeah. They did have a couple of movies after this. So I'm not sure, where it went.
There's movies to the show?
Yeah, and maybe they're like
like
TV
two of them.
movies? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Inbetweeners movie and the Inbetweeners 2.
There was also some sort of then there was an American remake on MTV that got axed like right away. And then there
I
was
was just reading about that.
In 2019, this January 2019, there was like a retrospective like version for like the 10th anniversary, and it was called Friends Reunited. And it was poorly received, and the creator had to made a public apology about it.
What? How was it so bad?
It was that bad?
Apparently, a special retrospective program featuring the cast. It was broadcast on New Year's Day, so it was already not set up for success.
Well, I don't know, man. New Year's Day is like a special day where people sit and watch TV too.
Yeah.
The
Wikipedia says criticism from viewers was primarily aimed at it being a simple chat show, when a number of fans had mistakenly anticipated it as being a special one-off episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably would have, right?
Yeah, like they're putting a show back together.
Oh, it wasn't the person who made the public apology wasn't the creator. It was the guy who played Jay.
No.
Oh, the creators are the dudes who wrote on Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell that by the IMDb, but I can tell it on the wiki.
Fun little thing that I read, just side note, is the Inbetweeners movie was called Sex on the Beach in Germany and in Greece.
All right. Wow.
So now we gotta watch it. Special, first and last special one-off podcast.
Are they on the
review
flicks?
Sex on the Beach. I don't know. I mean, we kind of have to. Do we have to watch this whole series to be able to understand? I don't think we do. I don't think we even do anything. I think we watch Sex on the Beach and and review it.
Don't want
Also,
to get
again,
too far.
it wouldn't take that much time.
Yeah.
No, not really. Also, a fun thing that they did is they played that phone game. Number one, okay,
Terrible
so the phone game, listeners, is where I guess you just give someone else your phone, and you get someone else's phone, and then you text whoever you want, whatever you want. But then they read it to each other. Like I'm sending. Obviously they sent like Will's mom, like something about how Will wants to like bang his own mom.
Obviously. Like you do.
Yeah. Gross teenagers. Have you guys ever played that, and would you ever do that?
Here's the thing. I had that happen to me once. Like I had set my phone down, I think, without realizing it, and someone randomly texts a random number, and it was that psycho ex-girlfriend I was talking about. And that did not go well.
Do you know what they texted her?
It was just like hi. Like I don't even remember. It was something not crude at all, and the person was not even like a crude person. It was just trying to pull a prank, and it really backfired.
Like a very
Just the one person.
The one
person you could not send a text to.
Man, that couldn't have been my grandma, and scored me points while I wasn't paying attention.
Literally anyone else in that phone book.
Well, so you didn't play the game. Someone broke. It's like someone
it wasn't so much
your
of a
privacy.
game. Yeah, right.
That's what you're saying.
Right.
I've never done that, but I've done a thing where, like you go on your own phone and you randomly scroll through the contacts, and then whoever the person you land on, you either need to send a text, call, or delete that contact.
Oh, okay.
So
What'd you
do?
do?
Know what happened?
I mean, like you like run it a few times because like, it's a quick game. And yeah, there's a few texts that I sent. I don't think I ended up calling anyone because that's psychopath behavior.
Yeah, don't call people.
But yeah, there's a few contacts that you're just like, yeah, I don't want to talk to this person. I don't want to even send this person a text. I'll just delete them. It's a good way to purge.
For the most
Yeah.
part, yeah, it's either it's a good excuse to delete somebody you didn't want anyway, or
Mhm.
I'm gonna be able to get my mom's phone number back.
Yeah. You don't want to text your mom so
Don't
hard you
text your
delete.
That is hilarious. Yikes.
I don't know what phase 2 of this game is. It's like after you text him, now you gotta give me the phone and I get a text. I feel like I've been offered to play that game before. Like, hey, we're gonna do it. Give me my phone. Or it was like, you pick the person and I'll text them, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Or just give me your phone and I'm gonna text somebody. If you, it wasn't like that was the game. It was like, we're gonna do this other thing, and if you lose this other bet, then I get to text whoever I want in your phone. And my answer to that 100% of the time was, I don't want to play this. Or do this.
No, thank you.
No.
I want no part of this.
There is a very minuscule chance that you will text something very beneficial to me to somebody in my phone. And a very large chance that you send something very awful to someone I do not want you to say something to. So,
Good
no,
times.
I've never played that game, nor has my phone been. I mean, I'm sure somebody picked up my phone and texted somebody one time, and I was like, "Ah, come on, man!" But I can't remember.
I don't know if you could. You can't even do that now. Unless your phone
I mean,
it's all locked down now.
I did for a long time not have a lock on my phone. I think even when people were starting to lock their phone,
You could
I feel like
choose.
I was late. I was even late to the game to have a lock or a code or something.
Yeah.
Don't worry, my phone's locked up.
Just an open book.
There's no getting in this vault.
I do the facial thing now, and that's been the most annoying thing of quarantine for me is that you got a mask on so your phone won't unlock because it doesn't recognize.
Wow, Jimmy, tell me more about your horrible life.
Yeah.
It's the most annoying part. Yeah.
Yeah, that just shows how much COVID has really affected my life at this point.
Yeah. Okay. So they played that game. So the biggest thing that came out of that essentially was one of them texted Carly for Simon,
Mm-hmm.
and they
it seemed like
texted
it went
basically I loved you. I want to shag you because they're British.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, she definitely responded in the affirmative, didn't she?
It seemed like
Yeah. Simon wouldn't say exactly what it said, but he was like, "Oh, brilliant."
Yeah.
Yeah. So seemingly good things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's kind of it. I mean, besides obviously they somehow managed to push. Well, Simon's car got into the river, but that was just because Jay and Neil are dumb / don't care. So
Yeah, really, Jay's a really terrible friend.
Yeah, really,
yeah.
real asshole, that guy.
Jay's
Yeah.
that group of you got the 4 people that hang out, and when you need something, you call the other 2. You never call Jay. If you're doing something really special, you only call the other. Jay's he's in there for the group thing, but he's not in there for the actual special events or delicate things. I want to invite my friends to this, but I think they might, if they need to stay in line. Jay's not invited.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a like you just sort of, especially when you're younger, you sort of just like have your group of friends, and it's just sort of like once you're kind of in the wolf pack, you're just sort of there, even like if you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just sort of like, well, this is my crew.
Yeah. He's definitely not going to be the alpha, but he's just still a pack member.
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, that tiny car that like 2 kids were holding up the hill from falling into the lake, and then they just decided to let it go. Like, I feel like the 4 of them could have got that car back out of the lake.
Yeah, they could have just like pushed it back up.
Oh yeah,
Or yeah, even out of the lake.
rolled that right out of the lake.
I was mad that they didn't try.
Yeah.
I mean, I was mad that they first let it go in the lake, but
Yeah. Jay was just like bored, so he convinced Neil to let it go.
and Neil's too dumb. He's a gentle giant.
He'll just do whatever anyone says.
Yep. So all in all, you guys watching the show? Are you actually gonna watch 16 more episodes of this?
I feel like I got the gist. It's like poop jokes, vagina jokes, gay jokes, some puke. And that's pretty much all you need to know.
I could see myself picking it up. Again, it's only a few episodes, and it is like just kind of a nice little like slice of 2000s, like warts and all, gay panic and all. But also the like a lot of the music is just like mid 2000s indie rock that's just like the instrumental versions of songs.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I heard some songs and I was like, oh, do I know this song? But then
Yeah,
I never heard words, so I kind of gave up on trying to figure out if I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to place it.
Yeah, I'm more in your boat, Joe. I feel like if I'm still like quarantine working from home and I just want to throw something on a different screen while I half pay attention to it and still work, like this is kind of like a perfect show for that, you know? So I'll probably throw it on during the day and see what's going on.
I will say I do like
I'm not committing.
Sure. I do like Will. He's just like a young like John Oliver kind of character.
Dude, that is John Oliver.
Shut up. But that's pretty fun.
At one point, but after you say that, at one point, I think it was Jay who said to Will, maybe it was Simon, that part doesn't matter. He was like, oh, well, you thought you could trick us with your smart sounding accent. Like he said that to Will. And I was like, you all sound exactly the same. So
Maybe he probably does. He probably does have a little bit of a different...
I bet if you're a British person, you can totally pick up on that. But they were not different enough to me. You know, the timbres of their voice were different, not their accents.
Sure.
Predictions?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some. Watching the movie?
Yeah, maybe I can go because there's some discussion, I think.
Ooh.
Okay.
So like the first one was that there's a new kid. There wasn't. I mean, Simon will be new somewhere, but that's not what I meant.
Right.
Sure.
Another one that I had was that one of the guys goes off to America for college, and that wasn't really discussed. So no point there. But then I have that Simon will confess his feelings to Carly, and like he didn't do that directly, but someone else through his phone texted to Carly. Does that count?
You know, he didn't like deny it, you know? He didn't like when he grabbed the phone back, he didn't like text her JK. He rolled with it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'd give that to you.
I'm fine with that. I accept.
Point for that one. And then my last one was that Mr. Gilbert conceivably committed murder. There's one scene in this finale with Mr. Gilbert And it's where like what's his name, Neil, is like explaining to Mr. Gilbert about the situation with the girl that he thinks he got pregnant, or the woman that he thinks he got pregnant. And Mr. Gilbert's essentially just like, yeah, I don't give a shit about any of that. Get out of here. But then like before they leave his office, he's like saying this thing that I didn't quite understand, where he was saying like the only reason that people teach is that there's a more relaxed view on police checks. And like, I don't quite understand that sense, but what I'm taking from like a more relaxed view on police checks is that the police don't keep as much of an eye on you when you're a teacher. Is that what he meant?
I think so.
Yeah,
So-
something along those lines.
So is that enough of a clue to say that he's up to something and maybe committed murder?
I think he.
I like it. You did a good job.
You did a good job.
Conceivable.
selling it, yeah.
Not saying he did it. I'm just saying he did something.
I think if I was an
Getting away with
investigator,
something.
if I was an investigator and that popped up and he said it, especially about being a teacher, and he's obviously a teacher, I'd look into him. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, check into some things. See if
Yeah,
there's any
hearing that,
missing children.
Mr. Gilbert
All right.
definitely
I'm giving it to
doesn't
you.
give
So-
a fuck. So
There you go. I got it. Paid off.
son of
1
a
point.
bitch.
So 2 points total.
Nice.
Dang.
Good job. Well, here are mine. Number 1, I said Will gets a pint. That didn't happen. There was they definitely like had pints,
They drank
camera.
things.
Yeah.
but
And
like,
a
we
pint
never
was
saw
offered.
it.
One was offered to Simon when like
Right.
he was like freaking out.
After the car incident. They were like, "How about we have like Simon? You want a pint?" And he's like,
Mhm.
"Yes." And he came in, and I'm like, "Where am I at with that?"
Yeah. I feel like it was insinuated that they were going camping and they were going to be drinking and stuff. We didn't really ever see beers, but I assume that they were
Yeah,
there.
that's interesting.
No. We never saw it, but
I'm gonna
what
say
I was
I would
happy is
assume Will had a beer.
they confirmed that the beer was safe after the car was in the river, and so that was my
Oh yeah.
important part, because that was after the car was in the river. So they asked. I'm taking it. I'm taking the point. Deal with it.
If
did
we
not get a
gave
point.
Joe murder,
All right. Okay. Fair. My second one was Simon gets a boner. He's boner free. He
Yeah, he's
interacted
boneless.
with Carly
he's
many different ways. Simon boneless wings over here.
he's got boner control these days.
My third one, Jay said this in a way. My third one was, they say, "What are you on about?"
Mm-hmm.
And while they were texting or whatever, they got what was it? I think it was in response to what they texted Will's mom. Jay was like, "What is she on about?" And that's he said that sentence.
Oh, I missed that.
I did
Yeah.
not hear that.
He said,
Like, right
"What
at
is
the
she on
end?
about?" Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was
like right-
after.
We can scroll back. It's right at the end. Because
Do
she
you need me to
texts
repo-
Will, "I love you too."
She at some point, Jay said, "What is she on about?" Here's the deal. I'll do it. Jimmy, you didn't do this last week when I said
didn't.
rewind the tape and show everybody how you deserve that point. I don't even remember what it was about anymore.
I don't either.
I will rewatch this last part, and I will show
That's
that
how
I deserve this
thirsty he
point.
is for points. Okay.
Hey, if I need to spend 5 extra minutes getting a point, I'll do it. So I'm taking it for now with the caveat that I show everybody what I'm talking about.
All right.
Jay says it. My fourth one is things get spooky. That didn't happen.
No.
Not
So.
so much. It's in the woods though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
yeah, I
it
was kinda
easily
hoping
could
that-
have.
It was gonna go puke or spooky, but it went puke.
Pukey or spooky?
Ew.
It's a very fine line between pukey and spooky.
It's the game I like to play.
I'm taking 2 points, but I owe you guys proof.
Okay.
All right. I said Will has a GF. I can't believe that's true at this point. Do not have any proof of that. I also said it was the last day. Doesn't seem like it was the last day of anything except for maybe Simon's life. Socially. I did not hear any teen pop culture references, but I did see some hot dogs. So I will take 1 point for every hot dog seen.
Oh man, that's one way to really cheat the system. I want 1 point for
any time a prediction happens.
Every finger we see.
Ugh. All right, so I got one.
All right, not bad.
But I feel good about that one.
All right, I gotta make my note that I gotta make proof. Okay, well that's it. We're done with this show. It's in a way, I think we liked it more than I was not sure whether or not we were gonna love this show or not. But I feel like we're mostly positive about this bad boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We gotta watch that movie. Gotta watch that movie.
And the sequel.
Yeah, you guys want to watch that movie. All right. Thank you, listeners, for yet another First and Last. We appreciate you. If you want to get a hold of us to do a show suggestion or whatnot, you can hit us up at FNL Podcast on the Gmail, on the Twitters. We got a Facebook out there somewhere. Thank you for listening. See you next week. Goodbye.
If you want more hot dog sandwich recipes, sign up for our newsletter.